What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today on the secondary computers. This time, we're gonna do some Alan Wake 2, and we're gonna do it a little tiny bit different than we did on the Asus G15 Advantage. This time, we're gonna attempt to turn on ray tracing and even try path tracing for a second. I'm sure that'll still just be absolute trash, but we'll try that stuff out at least, because this is a high-end computer, so some people might want to try that. I do not think it will go well, no matter what ray tracing we use, but we'll at least give it a shot. So, if anybody is curious what the specs are, I know I usually list them off, but that was taking a little too long and making the intro a little too long. Figured we would ask that, and just figured if people were curious what was in here, yeah, they could ask. Whoops, almost coughed. Well, coughed a little there, but you can either ask me, or you can look in the description, as I always put the specs of all of my stuff, from the Steam Deck, the Ally, and my Asus G15 Advantage, and the desktops. They all have their specs, including peripherals like keyboard and mice, and monitors even. But in any case, let's get into the game now, shall we? All right, so we're gonna do things a little differently this time. We're gonna try to just max this thing out with path tracing, ray tracing, all that stuff. So let's cruise down. I'll show you the settings. I pretty much just put it on the high quality preset. And as you can see, we're on high ray tracing with direct lighting and all that stuff, and path tracing. So this is probably gonna go very poorly, but I just wanted to see what it would do. I'm sure other people are curious too. All right, here we go. We're getting a whopping 11 FPS.
Before we get swallowed up by
so that's pretty awesome. Pretty much what I was expecting, though, to be honest with you guys. Completely unplayable, but AMD is not good at ray tracing, and it is certainly not good at path tracing. But hey, it is what it is.
I should take a look at that
At least
map.
we know. So just to be a little more thorough, though, why don't we go ahead and try to turn on some FSR and see what that does. Still probably won't make it playable, but I want to be thorough here. Now we're going to go ahead and use some quality FSR, which is 2293 by 960 when you're doing ultra wide, apparently. Same settings otherwise, though. We've still got path tracing and all that stuff on. So now we've reached the bottom here. Let's go back and see if we're at least somewhat close to playable now. So now here we go. We got FSR on quality here. So we're at least getting 20 FPS now, but no, still definitely not playable. Not unless you're used to, like, Breath of the Wild frame rates, and you're okay with that on a system of this caliber. Me, I am not. I would not accept this. But again, I'm not everybody, but I think I can safely say almost everybody would claim this is also unplayable. But I'm definitely willing to admit there's a couple out there, very few, that would say, no, I could play like this. Anyway, though, I think that's just about enough of that, so why don't we go ahead and try turning path tracing off. Now let us go back to native 1440p, and let's just try turning path tracing off, and we'll just try ray tracing. And beyond that, we'll leave the rest of the settings the same, as you can see, but we've turned path tracing off now. So let's hop on back into the game now. Well, here we go with just ray tracing on and no path tracing, but still, we're right at about 25 FPS, and I don't know about you, but still not good enough FPS for me. I would prefer a little bit more, but we're at least getting there. Getting about the same FPS as we were actually getting with path tracing and FSR on, and this is actually native now, but so we could probably get like a playable 30 FPS, but again, I don't consider that kind of FPS playable on a system like this. But then again, if somebody wants ray tracing, this is definitely not the system for them. You're going to want to go NVIDIA for sure, 100%. But now, let's move on. Now, we are going to do FSR to quality with just ray tracing and no path tracing. And I'm wondering if that will give us around a 30-ish FPS experience. And if it does, maybe we'll run around a little bit more. We'll see. So now, here we go. We seem to be getting like 40-ish FPS, but I'm sure we'll drop into 30s here and there, but that's at least somewhat playable, I'm sure, to some people. So instead of just running around in circles the whole time this time, we'll actually try to walk around a little. First things first, though, let's take a look at our map. Why, hello, Misty. Witch's hut.
I
I
think
do not
I hear
want to go
someone.
to the witch's hut.
Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Wait, hey, over here.
Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I could have sworn this was the right way to go. Here's the guy
Hey
we're
there.
supposed to talk to.
Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Baker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot.
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
I was
We're gonna instead skip.
Were
You
there
don't
any
gotta tell us about
witnesses?
the stuff. I already listened to all this once
couple
before.
out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
That's real simple. Go right through this hole. Well, can do.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
I'm gonna check out that view for a quick second before we're shoved right into this thing real quick.
The facts
So
are on the
let's
board.
get this out of the way real quick. I already know what to
Everything
do.
we
It's been
know about
explained
the
to me
previous murders.
quite a few times at this point.
Worth taking another look.
And hey, look at that. We're getting 70 FPS staring at a wall.
I see you're
All right, now we
already
can get
hard
out of
at
that,
work,
and we're back into
Anderson.
the 40s again. Here we go. Now we're going to do native, just with no ray tracing at all. We're just going to run the game with the ray tracing setting turned off. Now, I hear there's still some in the background, but hopefully now we can at least get decent FPS while still being decently close to being maxed out. But anyway, that's the bottom. Why don't we go see how we do now? Well, nice. So far, so good. It seems like with no ray tracing, you can actually get a 60 FPS plus experience in this game with these settings on ultra-wide, so that's cool.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why
So
now?
this will
Look,
probably
Anderson,
be what I would go
you're
with if I got to play.
better
So I
detective
think
than I
when
am.
I get to camera recorded gameplay,
Crack
I will
cases that had the rest of
be
us
doing
baffled.
this. But don't worry,
I don't
before I
wanna
move
slow
on to
you
camera,
down.
I
Are you
will
thinking of
try
retiring?
some FSR out with these
You
same
know what
settings
happens
with
to
no
cops who say
ray
this is their
tracing. 'Cause I'm sure
last
some people are
case.
curious too. I think this is
Real
plenty of
funny,
FPS
Anderson.
already, but I'm sure there's some people that are curious how it would run with a little bit more FPS. I mean, this system does have a 240 hertz monitor after all. So if I can get
Stairs
extra
are out.
FPS without it looking too
You
much
okay to jump
crappier, I
down?
would.
I'm not that
That's what I'm
old.
sure some people are thinking, but I don't want to add all that extra shimmering and whatnot in there. So I think I would just play this game like this. This is plenty enough FPS for me in a slow-paced game like this. Well, if I remember from the first one, all I gotta do is run away from crazy shadow people and shine lights at them. And I think 70 to 80 FPS is plenty for that. But again, that's just me.
Fucking nature.
Yeah, this guy does not like
Gives me a
nature.
Headache. It's too much sky.
Huh. Kind of funny how this system uses less RAM than the laptop, but I guess the laptop probably just has more stuff running in the background, maybe, than the system does. That's a weird looking thing. Almost looks like something did that, but I'm pretty sure nature did that, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, let's move on. Now, before moving to my camera gameplay here, let's try some FSR 2 quality out here with the same settings, just no ray tracing. And then when I do my camera, I'm going to turn FSR off because I was already getting plenty enough FPS as far as I was concerned, but I just want to do this for the people that were curious. So, let's go see how it does with the FSR 2 at quality. Here we go. Now we got FSR on. So yeah, definitely getting some FPS now, that's for sure. It doesn't look that much worse. But definitely can tell something's going on. But you have to look for it at least. But me, like I said, I'd rather just play it at native with
Not
the
a
same
bad place to
settings
get
and turn
murdered.
off FSR.
If
I
getting
think
back to
personally we were
nature
getting
is
enough.
anything.
Anyway, let's go off the trail a little bit. I don't think I've been back here yet.
I'm gonna go check something out. Be right back.
Got it.
Ah, we got Mortar Falls. Yeah, that's definitely some falls, all right. Anyway. Ooh, we got something back there. I'll have to take a look at that. Hopefully I noticed it. I don't know if I noticed it during gameplay.
Is that a
I did.
kid's lunchbox? An Alex
Anyway,
Casey
hang on,
movie
take me a quick
lunchbox.
hit.
Casey hates the endless jokes about the same name as a fake detective. He hates those cheesy crime books, but he really hates the movies.
All right, we'll mess with that shit later. Let's just keep walking around for now. Huh, there's like a charm or something up there. Two, in fact. Curiouser and curiouser. Hey, wait a minute. I think this is that weird thing I saw and commented on. Like, oh man, is that nature or man-made? I guess it is nature. Unless someone helped it along to look like that somehow along the way.
Good to see you still in one piece, Anderson.
Yeah, we're
Forest
still in
can
one
be a
piece for now.
dangerous place.
But only for now. But let's move on to camera. Alright guys, now for some camera recorded gameplay here. I honestly completely forgot I don't have to quit out of the game to go to camera on this one. It's just a force of habit. If I don't do that on the laptop, it will just crash out of the game. Or if it doesn't, it'll make the game run like 12 FPS or some nonsense. Which, I don't know about you, but 12 FPS is not playable to me.
Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
But yeah, even without ray tracing, this game still looks really good. Oh, and this is with no FSR, by the way. This is just native. 3440 by 1440.
Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that,
Federal agents right here for me.
my partner Thornton.
This is always funny.
Down at the crime
He
scene.
seems impatient, that old Thornton.
Call the sharpest axe in
And
the
apparently he's also quite dumb. Yeah, they did. That's how radios work.
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Hey, everyone can hear what you're saying to him. Alright, let's just skip through this shit. We've seen that all at one
Were
a
there
bunch
any
of times.
witnesses?
Oh, I guess not everybody has seen it if you didn't watch my Asus G15 Advantage video, but still,
How do we get
nobody
there?
wants to sit here and listen to all this talk. I just want to walk around and show you guys how many FPSs it gets in the forest, seeing as though it's supposed to be the hardest to run place in the
Before we
game.
get to the crime scene, there's time to review
Supposedly.
the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
Alright, let's do this case board stuff real quick.
The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders.
Every single thing.
Worth taking another look.
Alright, now we can exit.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it.
We're just getting started.
Light
Let's
goes
head down
on,
the
light
hill.
goes off, light goes on, light goes off. Yes!
Arcane nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
I don't know, I like nature. I just don't like the fact that if you're in a forest like this, like, a bunch of it wants you dead.
Hey, Casey.
Still, a lot less
You
than,
put
like,
me in
some
charge.
other countries,
Why
like
not?
Africa and Australia. Everything there seems to want everyone dead a little bit more
Than I am. You've
than,
cracked
say,
cases
North
that
America
I
or Europe, for example.
I don't want to slow you down.
Are you
Whoa,
thinking of
oh,
retiring?
that's just Misty chewing on a box.
You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real fun.
Technically, it's probably not good for her teeth to let her do that, but at the same time, it also makes them 100% pearly white all the time, along with all the treats she eats.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
Not that old. Oh, we're down to one thing on the battery, so we probably don't have too much time here. Hopefully I can still get my 5 minutes or so that I usually get on camera, but we'll see what happens. Normally, anymore, I don't go through all the settings like that either, but I figure with a game like this, people are going to want to know more options than just my settings, so figured screw it. We'll go back to my old ways just for a little bit here. Yeah, very smooth with this setup, that's for sure, and these settings. This is just the high preset. Because I'm sure if I turned anything else up, all it would do is make me get less FPS, and I probably wouldn't even be able to tell a difference. Even with ray tracing, I barely could tell a difference.
The only thing around here that feels like home.
Though I think to test out the ray tracing, you really got to be more in the city with reflective puddles and like windows and all that stuff, but still. It ain't worth the performance hit to me to be playing at 40 FPS. Or have to like put it at 360p. But that's just me. Oh, it's flashing red at me, so it's probably going to shut the camera off. But we're almost at 5 minutes, so I'm going to try to just let it go. Alright, we just hit 5 minutes, so let's go wrap this up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for Alan Wake 2 on the secondary computer here. And besides with ray tracing and path tracing, it did a pretty good job. But I already knew it wasn't going to do a great job with ray tracing because AMD is not great at ray tracing, which is probably why it's such low FPS on consoles. I believe this is a 30 FPS game. Could be wrong on that, but if there is a 60 FPS mode, it certainly doesn't have any ray tracing besides the baked-in ray tracing they say is baked into the game, but apparently it's not super intrusive, at least on a high-end, or the highest-end AMD GPU there is. And it didn't seem to get in the way on the Asus G15 Advantage too much either at native. At least at 1080p. But anyway, going off on a tangent here. So, why don't we go ahead and wrap this video up so I can get started on the main computer, which it's nice to be able to make videos on that guy again. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.